of the Pick and Downs podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and Peebush. How you fellas doing?
I'm doing well, man. Got two series that are done, and we got two series to go in the NBA playoffs, man. Hoping for two game sevens. We'll see. We got a game five going on right now between the Timberwolves and Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Playoffs are ramping up. Shout out to the New York Knickerbockers for taking care of business, because
Easily.
we saw another ass whooping where the game was kind of over after one quarter, after hitting 11 threes in a quarter, which is
Miles McBride.
Absolutely. There's a reason to call him Miles McBuckets, man, because when he gets hot, guy hits everything. But that is tremendous what they did, and taking care of business, because that series, it wasn't competitive at all. So shout out to the Knicks for taking care of business and not messing around with the sad Sixers team where bye-bye Daryl Morey. He just got fired.
Yep. Letting Jared McCain go.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes, it's hard to really argue. Like, if they had Jared McCain, I still think they get dusted. But
of course.
I do understand the logic, and it's only because Daryl Morey, I want to give him slightly benefit out because he's been successful sometimes. Like, I do understand because VJ's the guy, and it's like I'm probably more mad at like what maybe you could have got back, because I do think Jared McCain, if he was playing, he would be really good, and I don't know if they got enough back for him. That's only my complaint, because he was never going to see the floor. But also, one could argue like, well, part of this reason why you got dusted is because you didn't have enough scoring power, and Jared McCain off the bench would have been good enough. So I could see both arguments.
Or Champagny, who they waived for Mac McClung.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more.
Oh, really?
That might be a little bit more egregious. Yeah, that might be a little bit more worse. Actually, that is actually worse. Yeah, that's worse than McCain.
For what you got back, just nothing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and so Sixers, they shot their entire, I guess you say 7-game series, their whole situation with the Boston Celtics, and I think they just ran into a buzzsaw with the Knicks. And obviously, I think a lot of people who are in the NBA are secretly excited because there's a potential chance, depending on how this Cleveland and Detroit series goes, that they might make it to the NBA Finals. So we're going to be seeing how that happens in the next conference finals. But right now, we wanted to kind of start off with the NBA lottery. It happened over Mother's Day weekend. And there was a lot of excited fans. There were a lot of people who were glued to their TV. One little complaint, I kind of wish it was an hour. 30 minutes before the game. I just feel like it's condensed and it's not enough reaction to it. But besides the point, I want to get the guys' thoughts on how they thought the lottery fell. And Peebush, what were your first initial thoughts when you saw it?
I'll let Zoo carry the Bulls conversation. That's right up his alleyway. But,
yeah,
man, I mean, look, starting with the Wizards, man, they kind of got screwed on one combination for 2 years in a row with two generational players in Wembanyama and Cooper Flag. And now they land a guy that, for all intents and purposes, I think we know DeBonsta, barring a horrible interview or, whatever he does in the rookie shoot-arounds and drills and all that we've seen clips of today. He'll probably be the small forward for the Washington Wizards next year. And, just looking at that team, Trae Young, Keyshawn George, Ed DeBonsta, you got AD, and you got Alexander Sarr.
Pretty good team.
That team is interesting.
In the East.
That's an interesting East team right there. So, starting with them, that's great. Obviously, the Jazz, they already got their big men, so we kind of know which way they might be leaning. Grizzlies, I think, are the most enticing pick for us as Bulls fans, Zoo. Obviously, whoever they go with is going to kind of leave whoever is going to be available at 4, barring any moving up or down in the draft from any of these teams, which I doubt will be done in the top 4 or 5 this year, just with the talent pool. But I had to talk about one team, man, that, for the whole season, they lost their best player in Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year in the Indiana Pacers. They made a very interesting trade right at the end of the season, giving up Mathurin for Zubac, who I think we all agree is a very solid center in the NBA, definitely above average for a position that is kind of thin at a high level, a true star level at the 5 position. But, keep giving away that pick and being like, all right, well, we're protected, man, top 4. Well, you should have done top 5. Unfortunately, they lost the pick. It went to the 5th slot, so the Clippers get to take it. I know we're not going through all who we think is going to, go where, but, looking at the 5 spot real quick, they need a point guard, man. I mean, they lost James Harden. kind of in that rehaul. I do like Mathurin as a long-term piece. They have some solid role players over there as well. Obviously, we know see how the Kawhi situation turns out. Shout out Treehouse, and but do they bring in a point guard, right? Do they just kind of start from scratch? Really interested to see what Ballmer and the executive committee there in LA do. But yeah, man, a couple teams got screwed. And the last one I got a shout out, Perpetual. I don't even say purgatory because they're just ass, man. And that's the Sacramento Kings at 7, man. Just getting absolutely dumpster fired, getting dropped down to the 7th seed. I mean, just probably the worst franchise in the NBA. And I'm sure DeBonsta and all these guys in the top 3 or 4 were very happy.
Real glad. Yep.
Into that top 4. You could argue that any one of the top 4 teams in this year's upcoming draft are pretty solid destinations. Utah might be the least. I mean, even Memphis, but it's such a well-run organization that has a lot of really good young talent and a good coaching, very good coaching staff, very good development staff. So honestly, I think players seem to be pretty excited about where they might be going and interested to see how everything shakes out in June. Is it end of June, the draft? I know maybe July now.
End of June.
Yeah, I don't know when I guess it'll depend on the finals, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because you're looking at this right now. These top 4 teams. I saw these top 4 teams. I'm like, Chicago Bulls, Grizzlies, Utah, Washington. These are some good destinations for these kids right now. Like, let's start with Washington D.C. right now, because right now, the guys that run the Washington Wizards, ex-Oklahoma City Thunder guys, ex-Sam Presti guys. The winger, the head of basketball operations, used to work with Sam Presti. The GM used to work under Sam Presti. So pretty much they got guys in there that believes in, you can tell what we call it. It's tanking, it's building through the draft and scouting and finding young guys and develop them. And they pretty much copy and pasted the exact formula because the last 3 years have been god-awful. They've been god-awful, hoping for the lottery gods. And finally, they blessed them with the opportunity to take, I'm assuming Dybonsa is going to join their lineup in that small forward position. And he kind of just fits in pretty nicely with that lineup right there. Like, you get your big wing. You traded for your point guard that you obviously want a point guard for cheap. You got Ice trade for cheap. You got AD for cheap too. So you're getting 2 veteran guys where even if they don't work out, you traded 2nd-round picks and Chris Middleton. Like, the cost to get these, if they are healthy, all-stars, close to nothing. They didn't even trade multiple like high protected or even 1st-round picks. Like, they got them for extremely, extremely cheap. So you're talking about that roster right now. Washington, that is a franchise in the Eastern Conference. I'm like, I think they make playoffs next year.
Yeah. Guaranteed
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Easily play in. That's not even a question. Like, playoffs, I think that's very, very possible because you look at that team on paper. Obviously, it's all on paper, I know, but that's a talented roster right there.
Just need a couple veterans off the bench.
Exactly. Yeah, you see what the leap that Detroit made. Obviously, that'll be their first leap after being the worst team in the NBA, but they can make that leap this year. We've been talking about Utah and what Danny Ainge is doing over there specifically. He prepped for this situation, and I think 1 or 2, I think he's happy for either because he's looking to help that perimeter game right now because he got all his bigs. He went all in to get Triple J. Lauri Markkanen, you got Walker Kessler. So your front court is a bunch of 7-footers who are tall, who could shoot threes, play defense. Like, that is a nasty front court. And now you get an opportunity to get a little Darren Peterson scoring a 2-guard. Like, that is
Ace.
Yeah. Oh, Ace Bailey, too, at the wing. Like, especially last year with Ace Bailey with getting drafted, that young stud who kind of fell in the draft. He is accumulating talent. And you look at that team on paper, I'm like, okay, the Jazz could easily be a playing team next year. And especially, I think a couple other teams like the Warriors are going to fall. I feel like all these veteran, older teams are going to fall. Jazz, they're done. They got their team now. This is the core that they built through the draft. And you can see it on paper. Like, this team is kind of stacked, I think, like talent-wise. Like,
on paper.
Yeah, on paper. Like, on paper, because you got the bigs. Now, hopefully, you get the potential all-star caliber guard to pair with your bigs right now, where hopefully they can complement their bigs on there. So I'm like, And you got Keontae George, too, who had a career.
Who's kind of an all-star.
Yeah. Like, he put up 23 a game on 6 assists on 45% shooting. So you pair up with the backcourt that could probably each bring 20 a game with that front court. Okay, Danny Ainge, I see him. I see what he's doing down there. So that's another team. I think they're going to go from garbage to, okay, now we're going to decide to win now, because they went through the Sam Presti type of rebuild too, because this is their last year too. Yep. Perfect time, because this is a great draft. Next year's draft's not the best. Perfect year to get your guy and move on and try to win some games next year, especially with the lottery reforms next year, because next year that is a big deal with relegation. If you're in the bottom 3, you're going to get even worse odds if you're 4 through 10. So I think that's a big factor right now. So I feel like next year, a lot more general managers are not going to be telling their team to tank. They're going to be trying to win some games, because it's also incentive to win some games to get some higher lottery odds too. So that is an interesting situation. And same thing with, as you mentioned, Memphis also too. They go complete rebuild, and I think they're rebuilding pretty quickly right now. Last piece they got to move it. They already traded Big Desmond for all those picks. Thank you, Orlando Magic. They traded Ray Triple J for those picks. The next guy, Ja Morant, they might be getting some second round picks. But I think
little Trae Young treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect comparison. They got to move on, turn the page. Obviously, they built a great team. Obviously, things didn't go their way. Kind of funny. Like the minute Dylan Brooks left, like the team kind of fell off a cliff. Like Dylan Brooks is kind of like, he was the glue guy for that roster. Yeah. Like, and when he left, they kind of lost their identity, and they weren't that good without him, which is he's pretty good.
I didn't think I'd say that.
I know, which is crazy, because I don't like his jump shot, but you can't get past his impact on the team, because that team kind of fell off without Memphis Grizzlies right there. So they get an opportunity to get a little boozer action. I could see them going for a little boozer to pair up.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, you better hope so.
I don't know if I'm trying to speak into existence, because Boozer, okay, he's like a point forward type, not the fastest guy. He's in that, I guess, in that Jokic athleticism, where he's just a big, strong dude that can't really jump, but he's like sneaky.
Kind of Julius Randle-ish, just less bully ball.
Yeah. Okay, if he's Julius,
I don't want
him at all. I'm sorry. I don't want no.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You cannot build a franchise around Julius Randle. He better be better than Julius Randle. But my Chicago Bulls, the 4th pick again, a second chance redemption of a 4th pick, because last time it was Patrick Williams. And that dude is barely an NBA player, but now you get a chance of redemption with the new president of basketball operations, Mr. Murphy. Coming, what do I get? I get the 4th pick. I get the 15th pick. Thank you, Trailblazers, and thank you, lottery balls. The Bulls were blessed this year. The Bulls only had a 20% chance. 20% chance of jumping in top 4, and they were able to pull it off. So we lucky as hell right now. We lucky as hell, and oh no.
Rigged.
Oh, stop it. No, dude. Stop it.
The only rigged year was the Derrick Rose year. That was it.
Okay, that year,
that's it.
1.7. Like, there's a 99% chance it was rigged. So that's all I got to say about that draft lottery. But you're talking to a guy in Caleb Wilson where, okay, he got that body. Like, holy cow, he's athletic. He's fast. He's got that tenacity. He put up points in college, 19 points. Okay, Caleb. Okay, like, I don't know about the KG comparison, because comparing to a future Hall of Famer,
MVP.
Let's take it easy now. Let's take it easy now. Let's see if we can get to just a Chris Bosh or something like just.
Hey, I'll take a Chris Bosh.
Yeah, like Kevin Garnett is one of the greatest power forwards of all time. But you're talking about upside right now, where you need superstars, and if you potentially a superstar, you believe in your guy and you go draft this guy, because this is your opportunity to change your franchise right now. This is the draft. This is the draft. You get multiple shots in the chamber for 2 first-round picks. You better hit on both these guys, because they call them foundational pieces. Foundational pieces. And Bulls fans, they haven't been this happy in a long time. It's been a decade of misery. Like, post Jimmy Butler trade, it's been sadness and sorrow.
We had 1/2 a season until Lonzo Ball got hurt.
Oh yes, we had 3 months. We had 3 months.
That's true. 3 months. You're right.
We had 3 months, and Lonzo tore his leg, and it was kind of over. So this is the first happiness and bliss this franchise has had in a decade, and I'm gonna take it right now because I was fucking hyped for this shit. Getting a 20% chance, 20% chance. That's all I gotta say. But it's a beautiful thing when something actually works out for a franchise who's actually trying to. You see the Chicago Bulls owner. He apologized to the fans.
Finally,
you saw that. He said, "I'm sorry to the Bulls fan. I'm sorry for this is unacceptable." I'm like, okay, Michael, you ain't your daddy. Your daddy ain't your sins. I accept your apology for firing AK and getting this new guy in here try to turn the page. I appreciate a billionaire's apology because he was on his knees. That wasn't on a piece of paper. Last time I saw Michael Ryan, he read a script. He read a script. This time,
you're right. He did.
He's straight from the heart. This wasn't like
he's more seasoned now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I apologize to the Bulls fan base. No, that was from the heart, and I appreciate it. I accept it. But let's win some games now, because man, or let's get some talent. So I'm hyped for the Bulls season next year because get some new players in there. Hopefully, sign a little free agent. I don't know.
Give me Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, flamethrower.
He's a flame in the playoffs. He's a playoff guy.
Yeah.
He's a playoff guy.
Yeah, like kind of like how Paolo is. Like he just turns it up.
Oh, yep.
And another thing that's why I think Caleb is just more so looked at is he's trending up, even though we know he's probably not going to get in that top 2. But if you look at his games, like when he played against UNC, because I remember I watched not UNC, but when I watched the Kansas game here in Darren Peterson, and then when they played Duke, like he showed up. Like in the Kansas game, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 9-11 field goals. UNC won that game. Then they played Duke, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 8 of 12, and they won that game. Now, he didn't play the second one because they got hurt, but that just shows like, the talk was, hey, these guys are obviously going to be better. They're in that top 3 with DeBonsta and Boozer and Peterson, but Caleb Wilson was just kind of like, hey, I'm a dude too. I was ranked highly. I'm a McDonald's All-American, and he kind of just proved his impact on both sides of the ball. Because even when I was watching the Duke game, because I watched that one extensively, and he was matched up with Boozer, like the amount of times that he would, make it basically seem like he's backing down and then face up, however he had the position. There were multiple times where he just shot over Boozer. And that's the part where it makes you a little nervous, and why I've always been slightly down on Boozer, because I think Bomani Jones made this point. Like, it should never, if you're a dude, not like if you're just a guy who's probably going to be picked in the whatever first round and you looked as like maybe a possibly 6 man is your ceiling. If you're a dude where you're going to be a foundational piece, it should not be hard for you to make shots in college. Everything should be easy, especially if you're a big man. So the fact that it was like strenuous for Cameron Boozer sometimes to make shots, and it's obviously that he's limited athletically, and how the league is trending with how big guys now are not just the ground. Like Jokic he's an anomaly. Like he gets to stay on the floor because he's just worldly, generational offensively. Because if Jokic was just a good offensive player, he wouldn't be on the floor. Like he's there because he's a generational offensive player. Boozer doesn't strike me. Plus Boozer's a couple inches shorter. Like he didn't strike me as that type of guy. So to your point, Caleb Wilson is gaining the momentum, and how it always happens in this league is more times than not. Like I think I made this point last pod, or maybe the pod before that, but like athletes are just the ones you want to take. And when they're that tall, you just always are going to, regardless of like how, like for all the Jabari Smiths you get, you're like, he didn't end up developing. You can possibly maybe get a Giannis. You could possibly get a guy who can impact on both sides of the ball. And I think that's what's most appealing about Wilson. He's a dude who is relentless. He's going to work. And if you got that type of work ethic, that's just it, that if he's a foundational piece, he's going to bring that type of attitude to the team. So guys below him are just going to be forced to work hard. Like you always take on the attitude of your star player. So if he's that type of mentality, everybody else has to fall in line, or it'll show up on the floor and they're probably going to be out of there. So that's why I think he's going to be highly contested for him to be in that top 3 or top 4. But for me, I was happy for the Wizards more so because I think DC is a underrated like hoop city, because if you just look at like high school, and even when Georgetown and Maryland were like really, really high, that's just like they're a basketball hotbed. So just having a really good team in DC is important. And I think DeBonsta for the most part is going to go number 1. I do like his fit with Washington. So I'm excited to see if AD can stay healthy, what that team does needs. Because I do think they are a playoff team, even with AD in and out the lineup, because more than likely that's what's going to happen. But if he's just say he gives us a really consistent year, Sky could be the limit because Sarr is kind of established himself as a 3-point block defensive guy. You know, they got a couple, you know, just Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, like a bunch of those guys that are like guards that can get a shot. And then you're going to have hopefully Devontae to grow into the give it to him in the last, you know, fourth quarter bucket and then setting the tone for the team. I am interested, though, to see what the Clippers do because obviously, people, to your point, they could take a point guard. It could probably be Acuff. But it is kind of weird, like what Kawhi, like what his status is. Like, is it Kawhi is like, okay, I'm just still here with the Clippers and this is what I'm going to do? Or is it like I want to get out? Because then if you're telling me like you could maybe package Kawhi and maybe get some other picks and maybe not have to go Acuff or whatever that early at that pick and you're able to maybe get some draft capital towards the back end of the lottery, however you want to do it. That could be a possibility. And who knows? Maybe they don't get to make the pick if that investigation ends up being a thing. Maybe that pick is forfeited, which I doubt.
That would be crazy. That would be
I doubt it.
Imagine taking away a first-round pick.
That high, too.
And
it's kind of like your jail out of free card because, like I said, I don't think the Kawhi story is about over in LA. So this guy, whoever they're getting, is going to be the future. So if you were to have to forfeit that would put you behind the 8 ball.
That would be a punishment.
So would the Pacers get the pick back then? Like, how does that?
I don't know how that works.
No, they would just take away the pick, and one less person would be drafted.
So who's sixth? They would move. So they would move up.
They would go for exactly.
Which would need Darius Acuff. That could be. I don't know who's at. I forget who's at 6.
Yeah, I think it's
And that, they need anything. So
they need everything.
See, the Kings can't even catch that break. They can't even be at 6 and have the opportunity to move up one.
But yeah, I'm actually interested too to see what Dallas does because I don't think Acuff will fall there. I know they want to kind of get a guard. I think early is like Mikael Brown from Louisville has been linked there because he's kind of a tweener, like a point shooting guard, but he's like super explosive and I think young for his class. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But everywhere else, like I think it fell fair. And lastly, thinking about Utah, if people have been following the Devontae story, like it's been a 4-year, 4.5, maybe 5-year process with, you know, Devontae starting in Massachusetts because that's where he's from. I think Brockton. I'm not sure, but now making the cross-country trip, I think his junior or senior year to Utah, mysteriously signed with Utah. I mean, not Utah, but BYU. And a lot of that was kind of back channels of Ryan Smith, who I think is a owner or partner of the Jazz. And he went to BYU, kind of just a wink, wink, nod, nod. We never knew if they were going to get the number 1 pick, and obviously they didn't. But there's been a lot of investment. I think he got one of the biggest NIL deals. There's been a lot of investment with Devontae and the Utah infrastructure. So would not be shocked if Utah did whatever they could to get to that number 1 spot.
Straight up.
And to me, if I'm Washington, I'm open to it, but you got to blow my doors off. Like, I don't want to hear a guard. Like, if I'm just saying I'm Washington, I need to hear the names Ace Bailey and 2 first-rounders. If I don't hear that, I'm disconnecting the phone, and I'll probably block you, and I'll have my phone open to other people.
So you're saying it'll take Ace Bailey, the second overall pick, and next year's unprotected.
And whatever, and you can put that first and whatever. I need it though.
Because you know what that reminds me of, Sean? That's like what the Bears did to trade out for Mitchell Trubisky and see how that panned out. So I don't know, man. Moving up one spot.
I'm doing that though because it's obviously that's a lot, but it's because of I know what you invested in Devontae. This would be different if they had no relationship with Devontae. They invested in Devontae thinking because think about it. Before the season started, it was Peterson number 1. So Utah was always in a space of if we can get in those top 2, and more likely probably going to get like just playing safe, you're going to get 2. And then when this year unfolded, Devontae became more consistent. Peterson had the weird stuff for cramps. Now Devontae is viewed as number 1. Washington happened to get it. So now the roles have reversed because it does seem, if you're logically looking at it, Peterson's a better fit with Utah because they got all the forwards. But if you're just talking about a billionaire mindset and about, well, hell, I just spent
Oh yeah,
totaling $10 million on DeBonsta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want him because he's already got like it's established. His fans, his people. There's probably a bunch of DeBonsta jerseys and Utah colors that's already been printed, ready to be signed. So I'm just thinking about the games that are being played with that. And if I'm Washington, okay, like we want DeBonsta too, but we want the ascension of Ace Bailey, and I need 2. I'm not taking one first. I need 2. I'm like, and if you're Utah, you want him bad enough, give him to me. Now, if you're Utah, you should say no. But if I'm Washington, that's my hard line.
And to Zoo's point, those guys in Washington's front office, man, they're Sam Presti guys. They might be saying, hey, we could get another 2 or, move back 1 spot and get a free unprotected pick and a good young player. Maybe you go for it.
And then they could throw a wrench in it. They could literally throw a wrench. It's like, okay, say that trade does go through and they go back to 2. They could just throw a wrench and be like, screw it, we're taking Caleb Wilson. and just literally throw it all off.
The Bulls get Cameron Boozer. Great.
No, they would get
the Booze Cruise 2.0.
Oh my God. He's wearing the same jersey number.
I didn't know that Carlos Boozer was a scout with the Jazz either. When did he start doing that?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
When was that?
That entices the Jazz to take us.
Oh my God.
I am not taking Cam Boozer over Darren Peterson.
Come on, take him. I'll take Wilson or Peterson.
Yeah, but then if that happens, if y'all were blessed to have that, then just definitely a true like there's no lose. Like you're happy with whatever happens.
Yep.
So yeah, but the lottery, man, it was awesome. I'll stand on it. I hate that it was on Mother's Day. It was harder for me to even track it.
Really weird.
Hope
usually
they go back
always
to
on a weekday.
Yeah, hopefully they go back to like today. Usually is what it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully they go back to regularly scheduled program, but they're being on a Tuesday. So good luck to the teams. Hope you do your scouting. I think the NBA Combine's already started. So
started today.
Guys get locked in and see who their risers and fallers. So staying on the NBA, closing out with conference semis. Like I said, we have potentially a couple series going, 7 games. We'll see. And a couple series that closed out. So Zoo, what were some of your thoughts that you've seen so far from the conference semis?
I'm just saying, man, what I've seen from the Eastern Conference, this is the Knicks conference. From watching the Cavaliers, from watching the Detroit Pistons, pretty flawed teams. Pretty flawed teams. Like, especially because watching the Detroit Pistons, obviously, this is the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Kate Cunningham, he doesn't really have much help. Like, Jalen Duren in the playoff has been awful.
Yeah,
like,
he's been over.
Jalen Duren, he's barely a starter right now. Like, Jalen Duren, point average, like in the regular season, he's a 19-point a game night. Like, that's really, really productive at the center position. And it drops over 8 points a game in the playoffs. And he's kind of a low impact guy. Like, I don't even know he's out there. Like,
no rebounds.
Exactly. He doesn't even get high rebounding numbers out there. Like,
he's not a vertical athlete. Like, he seems ground bound. If you watch his high school tape, which you guys probably haven't, but like he was vertical. It's like I feel like he got his man body. He kind of is now ground bound. I don't know. He just looks. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, weird. This guy in the regular season, 65% from the field. In this playoff series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 44%. And
regression.
Like this guy is just in the paint. Like, I'm like, this guy is just a non-impact right now. And Cleveland Cavaliers kind of taking advantage of it where they don't really need to guard him. They don't really even think too much about him. And pretty much they can play off Cade and force other guys to beat him. And that's like the best way to beat this team right now. And pretty much force Cade to probably go playmaker and make Duncan Robinson to beat you. Like, Osar Thompson, I'm sorry, he still can't shoot the basketball.
Yeah, he can't shoot.
He's
got to fix that.
Like, I'm like, they're relying on guys like Dennis Jenkins, who's inconsistent, and Karis LeVert, who had a big game, but he's coming off injury right now. So, like, you're looking at this roster, like Tobias Harris, he finally had.
It's their second best player.
He is their second best player. And he's actually kind of consistent. He was cooking the first half again.
He's
Tobias
good.
Harris,
he cooled off, though.
I know he cooled off. He didn't hit his 20 a game or whatever. But Tobias Harris has been their second best player. But watching this Detroit team against Cleveland, where Cleveland was on the brink of knocked out. Like, there was an
2-0.
opportunity. Yeah, exactly. Like, Detroit was in a great situation to kind of put a nail in this where, okay, we're going to go up 3-1. But that man, Donovan Mitchell, man. I know you're a big hater of Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan
he's great at home.
He showed up last night.
He is a bucket. Like, he is one of the best playoff scorers of all time. close to a 30-point average. And these are the types of games where he gets hot, man. He gets really, really hot. Like he shot 50% from the floor, 43 points, and they needed all of it. They barely beat that team. And like even James Harden was actually kind of good last night. Like James Harden, he hit a couple of threes. Actually, to be fair, all he hit were threes. Like James Harden has become a guy. He's a pretty one-dimensional basketball player where if his jump shot is not falling, he doesn't really do much. He like in the paint, he does this little floater thing. He can't really get to the basket and lay the ball in. He just wants to get a foul. Like he had 9 for 9 from the free throw line. Like if he doesn't get points from the 3-point line or the foul line, James Harden doesn't really put up points. So he's a very, very limited offensive basketball player in this career now. But really at Donovan Mitchell, what he did against the Detroit Pistons, where, okay, we got ourselves a series, and this is going to go 7 games right now because I don't like either team that much watching them. Because when they were having their bad game, like, they looked awful. Like, Jared Allen, kind of a non-factor this series, hasn't been that impactful. Evan Mobley had a little better of a game, but Evan Mobley kind of been the same guy since his rookie year.
Yep.
Like, has he really been better? And if you look at this playoffs right now, it's right around his rookie averages. Like, he's like 15, 16 point a game, gives you like 7, 8 rebounds, some good defense, but that was him his rookie year. Like exactly. Evan Mobley was supposed to develop into Kevin Garnett. That's the favorite skinny, tall dude, athletic guy comparison. Kevin Garnett, no, he got none of KG in him, man. He look like a nice guy out there. Like Evan Mobley doesn't impose his game, like his will on the game. Like he just doesn't. He's a very passive basketball player. And Evan Mobley and Jared Allen and these guys, I'm like, they're relying on Sam Merrill to hit some threes for them. Like Max Strus. Like I see some of these role players where these guys could be absolutely zeros for their team right now. So off the bench, like I see Dennis Schroeder, Max Strus as the main impactful guys. So this roster, not that impressed with it because I think either of these teams, the Knicks will absolutely and should destroy. Like what the Knicks are doing right now against the Sixers team, where I thought on paper Sixers are a pretty talented team. It wasn't even competitive. It wasn't even competitive. The game was so boring.
Series. They took Maxey
I know. Maxey was lighting the Celtics up, and the New York Knicks kind of snatched their soul and ended it in a quarter. Like have you ever seen like these games end in one quarter? Like there was no way the Sixers their soul was sucked out of them. I saw Nick Nurse leaning on the bench and just like, oh my God, like he couldn't like imagine like what is going on?
So
like, what is going? Yeah, it is so frustrating. And they did that even without OG. Like they're not. So I'm telling you right now, the New York Knicks, man, if they don't make the finals, man, I don't think they'll ever make the finals. The way they're playing right now, they hit every freaking three, man. Every three. They are so hot. They're playing with so much confidence. And I'm telling you that Jalen Brunson regression happened, man. Jalen Brunson is putting up those ridiculous games.
There we go.
He is, absolutely. And shout out to Cat, because Cat's been really, really good this playoffs.
Yep.
Really, really good. Obviously,
and OG up until he
OG Anunoby's been putting up close to 20 a game, right? So, like, the roster's coming together, and now that depth is coming in and, like, coming off the bench, and they've been very productive. Like, when the bench comes in, there's not, like, a significant drop-off in production, and they just kind of just whooping teams right now. So, obviously, they need OG back. He's a very key player, but watching the Detroit Pistons, Cleveland Cavaliers, I just think they're playing for runner-up for the Eastern Conference trophy right now because I don't know about you guys, but this series, neither of these teams have looked that impressive at all.
It reminds me of the Cavs-Raptors series, right? All the home teams taking the wins. It's just that, unfortunately, for the Cavs, and it could come down to this, they're on the flip side of home court this time, right? So, they're going back to Detroit tomorrow night, back to Cleveland for Game 6, guaranteed, and then we'll see what happens if it goes to Game 7. But yeah, so you still all I had written down was I've just been waiting for Jalen Duran to come back to normal this whole playoffs, and it hasn't happened, man. And it's been what? How many games? 11 games he's been this mediocre. I mean, he might have had one decent game in the Magic series, but it's just honestly, I'm shocked from us applauding him, like going into the playoffs. We were like, the bigger worry is Cade Cunningham and his collapsed lung, and how is it going to be?
Yeah,
we weren't even talking about Jalen Duran, and now it's okay. Cade's doing his thing. Here comes Tobias Harris, guaranteed 20 and 8 pretty much every single night, and he's out rebounding Duran.
Yep, that's like, unacceptable.
look at that. I mean, and here's the other thing. Maybe it's a scheme thing. Maybe Bickerstaff isn't doing enough for him, but he's also only taking 8 shots. I mean, is Jared Allen like Rudy Gobert? No, he's not Rudy Gobert. Like, Jared Allen can be exploited. He's a good defender and he can block some shots, but Jalen Duren is way more physical. Maybe you could argue playoff experience, but this Cavs team just doesn't really impress me either. But you're right, Zoo. Donovan Mitchell, yeah, he had his good game. He plays well at home at times. Congratulations. Look at that first half compared to the second half. That is the definition.
Yeah, 34 points and a half, man.
It's
That's
the
what
definition.
he does.
He's
a microwave guy.
He's a microwave guy. And
literally a microwave.
And okay, I got to go back to one thing you said. You called him one of the best playoff scorers of all time, and he hasn't even made a conference finals, so his sample size is a lot smaller than most.
Wait, didn't he make it in the bubble or no?
Oh, okay, maybe did he make it in the bubble?
I'm not sure. I thought was it them and the?
It would have been them in LA.
Nuggets.
Nah,
and then that one because the Nuggets was conference semis, so you might be right there. Because I think when they had him and Jamal Murray was going on, there might have been conference semis.
Yeah, like Jamal Murray's had big games like that, man. We aren't talking about him as one of the best guards in the league. I mean, look,
he's 28 a game in the playoffs.
Okay, but once
That's
again, smaller sample size.
It's not small sample. He's played in 74 games.
Okay,
that's
I guess it's empty calories is what people should point to. It feels empty calories,
man.
That's what he feels.
Yeah,
like.
Yes, it is because on paper, okay, I guarantee on paper this Cavs team is better than the Pistons, 100%.
They're better than most of the teams they go against.
They're better than most of the teams. The Knicks, I would argue, and the way the Celtics were with, I don't know, some of those guys they were throwing out there. I think the Cavs on paper, I still believe that the Celtics would beat them in a series. But on paper, the Cavs have more talent than most other teams outside of probably the Knicks. And they're struggling against the Pistons, who I'm sorry, man. This Pistons team is bad, and I'm a huge Cade Cunningham guy.
It's Cade, yes.
It's Cade. I mean, Duncan Robinson, Kevin Huerter ain't even suiting up, man. Like, come on.
I'm telling you, man.
Asar Thompson is literally a liability.
Trading nothing for nothing.
Like if you look at the game last night, I'm pretty sure Tobias Harris, they might have combined for 13 for 34. Him and Cade. No one else did anything. I mean, Duren, like I said, he went 4 for 8. Donovan Mitchell needed 43. They had more turnovers than the Cavs by nearly 10, and they still only won that game by 9 at home. Like, I get it. It's Harden, he's aging and all that, but
Donovan traded for him.
Yeah, they traded for him. Right.
They knew what they were getting. He has a long resume.
Exactly. But to your point, I agree. Evan Mobley has not lived up to expectation, or he hasn't improved upon his rookie year. That was super promising. Jared Allen has been pretty solid. He's actually come up with some big plays in this series. Just, his scoring can be hit or miss. I mean, he could give you 20 on one night randomly, but then I'll give you 5 the next. But that's been Duren. He's been giving you 5 to 10 this whole playoff. So I don't know. I agree. It's not a very enthusiastic series, but we still might get a game 7. It could be exciting to still watch. But we know what's happening when they play the Knicks. And to your point, Zoo, if that's any more than honestly, if they don't gentlemen sweep either one of those two teams, I'd be pretty shocked. Like a 5-game, if it goes further than 5, I'd be like, oh, wow, Pistons actually gave them a shot, or, oh, Cavs gave them a good series. But if they blow that, then, yeah, I agree. The Knicks are done, man. And they're going to have to fire Mike Brown and go to another coach.
Yeah.
But,
one and done.
But real quick to the Spurs and T-Wolves, they're playing right now. I think T-Wolves might be down 10.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, sorry, Spurs and T-Wolves. Wembanyama, man, that if he was any other player, he had any sort of history, I think he gets suspended 1 game.
Yeah.
But look, it's his first ejection. He's not an angry guy. Look, there's a reason that Meta World Peace got a 5-game suspension when he elbowed Harden.
Mass of the past, man. Like,
exactly.
He already got a criminal record.
He had priors.
He had priors. But let's be honest, man, the T-Wolves have been getting under Wemby's skin, and he's having a great start to this game 5. And I picked the T-Wolves in 7. I'm going to stick with it because I don't like switching up on my original picks. But I do think the Spurs probably take this one. I could see them forcing 7, the T-Wolves, when it goes back to Minnesota for game 6. But Wembanyama is not letting them knock him out of the series based on the way they've just been so physical with him this whole series. Rudy Gobert, I think there's a little bit of big bro, little bro, but there might be a little changing of the guard in the French center area, as it should be. Wembanyama is a way more talented player. But you could tell he was a little skittish at the beginning of the series playing up against, one of his mentors. And it's been good to watch Wemby kind of take over and really come out of his own shell as a leader on this team. But I said this at the beginning. If this Spurs team wants to get past the Thunder, they need De'Aaron Fox to be that 2022 Kings De'Aaron Fox.
One.
You can't rely on Stephon Castle to be giving you 20 a game. He's just a young guy. He doesn't have the experience. He can't shoot that well. He's got a decent mid-range, but nothing great. And, and then on the other side for the Timberwolves, Julius Randle, to your point earlier, you can't build a franchise around him. Well, apparently you can't build him as a second guy either, because he's giving you exactly 12 a game in this series. And it's just been absolutely abysmal. Maybe it's the size and the defense of this Spurs team for sure. But, he is a bully ball guy. At the end of the day, you can get to the line. And I think that's what he's got to do if this Timberwolves team wants any sort of chance. But on a positive side for them, Ant has looked healthy and is looking good coming off that hyperextension of his knee. Had a massive game in Game 4 that the Timberwolves were lucky to get by, man, with Wembanyama getting ejected there. But they closed it out. It is the more exciting of the two series, in my opinion, but I just still think it's going to be Spurs. And then I will still stick with the Pistons coming out in Game 7.
Pistons, so.
Yeah, I just think Cade, I think if you're going to take, would you rather have Cade or Donovan Mitchell?
I'll take Cade.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I just think he's the best player in the series.
Best player.
Yes. Yeah. Overall, they just need to clean up turnovers because it's literally been, I don't know if that's the other thing.
And one of them was on Cade. Cade turned it over a couple times in the fourth quarter that one game.
Yeah, but I'm saying whichever team has turned the ball over more, that's been the almost direct correlation to how that series has gone out. And last night was a perfect example of that.
I also selfishly just want to see Cade in conference finals. I mean,
I want to see Cade
Mitchell and Harden, but I just Cade is because
Detroit in New York. This is a rematch. In the regular season, Detroit kind of whooped them. So there's bad blood between them. I like it.
Yeah, and I think didn't they play in the first round last year?
Yep,
and I think New York marked them up.
Yep, New York beat them. Yeah,
I think it would be more interesting because there's two storylines for me if they were to meet. It's either you're going to get Cade is now he's being recognized as that dude because he got through the Knicks who had all the hype to be like built up as they're going to the finals and they didn't because Cade is just that good of a player. Or two, you're going to get the Knicks in the finals, which is just going to be if you're a fan, it doesn't even matter. It's just like they're in the finals. But going to Minnesota and Spurs, like it just kind of feels like, and this kind of just sucks for the Knicks because we all think they're going to get to the final. But it just, even if I think like if somehow, some way Minnesota were to win this series and then somehow get to the finals, it just feels like at that point, if Minnesota were to do that, they're probably mopping up the Knicks because that means they beat two of the perennial, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like dynasties with OKC and the Spurs. Mm-hmm. You're kind of looking at it like, oh, you just went through those two teams and now the Knicks are the team that's supposed to be in your way to not get to an NBA Finals championship. Like that would be something where I'm looking at the T-Wolves as like, okay, they're the team of destiny, not necessarily the Knicks. But I think Julius Randle, your point with that, people, is just this is a turning point. Like if they were to lose this series, you kind of maybe have to figure out if he is a dude that you can get off of. Because I actually like everything else with the Timberwolves. Like I like Naz Reid, I like Gobert and his role, and of course Jalen McDaniels. Like they got a Terrence Shannon is now proven that he is a guy you can score with. Ayo Dosunmu. They got a lot of good parts. Yep. And Julius, to me, is that little, not want to say odd fit because he's a good player, but in terms of what you can maybe get to bolster up different spots, like maybe a real point guard outside of Mike Conley. And I know you got Ayo, but just maybe another lead guard. Or maybe another dynamic wing that can maybe fit along with the timelines of those other guys with Minnesota. So this series is going to maybe dictate where Julius is next year. I don't know what his contract situation is, but that could be a real talking point for them. And on the Spurs side, I do think Wemby, he just got very fortunate that he is a nice guy and he just got angry. Yeah, and it was a nasty blow. But some people look at it as like, hey, it's nice to see a guy who's kind of looked at as just a cool guy because he's 7'5", and it's kind of like how tall people are. Like if you ever meet them in real life, it's like most of them are very calm and chill because they don't want to come off as very aggressive. Because it's like when a guy who's 6'7" is pissed off, it looks different than a guy who's 5'10". So it's like he has a little bit of a different mentality. I get it because he's so tall and it's probably made him awkward. But seeing that type of aggression, some people were saying, at least what I saw online, like that's nice to see because then even with it looking like it was a cheap shot, it kind of still comes off as like you just can't mess with Wemby. So that's kind of nice to see. Because a lot of big guys, if you look at the really great ones, they all kind of, maybe Jokic is the exception, like they all kind of have a little bit of a streak. Like a mean streak.
Definitely does. Like, remember when he shoved the Morris twin?
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
He had whiplash.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, yeah, he and Jokic kind of in that last series. I take back what I said.
Him and McDaniels
when he's losing, he was getting
Jokic
pissed.
Jokic is about that smoke, man.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the Serbians, Sean.
Yeah, you seen his brothers, man. Like a straight up hitman.
Serbian mafia, right?
Yeah, he
there.
definitely at the big man position. So, but those teams, I just think if I had to put money on it, I think it's going to be Pistons and Knicks, and then more than likely, even though I have a little bit of skin in the game with the Timberwolves, I think it's going to be the Spurs and OKC. So we'll see how that all plays out. I will say too with the Knicks, one guy that I think has impressed me a lot was Miles McBride. Like I think that's the name, right? Just his energy off the bench. Deuce McBride, yeah. But I just think it's really nice to have a guy like that off the bench. And I will give Mike Brown a little bit of credit. If Jalen Brunson has looked a little bit different just in terms of his off the ball, getting in different spots. I know he dominates the ball and that's what he does. That's his bread and butter. But he has when he's been off the ball and Cats kind of had the ball, they've looked a little bit better and more. I would say they had a little bit more continuity. So and that might be the reason why Cat has looked better in this playoffs because he's got a coach who is offensively inclined.
Yeah, and you gotta say, Cat's playmaking, like Cat averaged 7.5 assists this series. Like Cat was at top of the key and looking for cutters and stuff. So Cat's showing that he's not only a shooter, he's a pretty good passer, especially at the big. So I think that was a thing that I noticed, especially in this series where Cat is at top of the key and throws like a dime to one of his cutters, and they finish for easy shots. So Carl, he even got I believe he did show that a lot last series too when he got 2 triple doubles. So that's one thing in his game that I'm like, oh, Cat can pass it a little.
He used to be, and we used to talk about this maybe more so when he was in Minnesota, but he was sometimes a little bit of a black hole. And I think he realized that if maybe he's hitting that point in his career where he's like, all right, I can put up numbers. People know that about me, but I am the second fiddle on this team. So I'm just going to find any way to win. And maybe he trusts his teammates more too now that they've been playing longer together. Better chemistry.
So it is nice to see the Knicks clicking on all cylinders right now. Them getting to
Bing bong.
Yeah, it's going to be a
sight. This is the year, man. Don't blow this year because, my God, I don't know with the East next year, people are going to get better. And
teams are just going to continue to get better. You cannot play around.
I don't know. Did you guys hear what Brad Stevens said?
No.
He mentioned that, like, pretty much he's talking about recapping the Boston Celtics season. Like, oh, they won all these games, but he pretty much implied this year was kind of like a fluke because half the teams were pretty much tanking. So the competitiveness next year is going to be a different level. Like winning 60 games this year versus winning 60 games next year is going to be a lot more different with the new rules and the draft, and teams that are done tanking are now actually trying to compete and trying to win games. So it's going to be a lot more clumped up, like record-wise, with teams next year and this year, where you pretty much say they have Boston's 56 wins this year. It's kind of like they might have won 56. The reason is, if you look at the Eastern Conference, the bottom of the barrel, man, it is really, really bad basketball. And obviously, the good teams that were just decent teams just took advantage of the situation. So this year in basketball is one of the most lopsided. Like people actually just trying. There's people that are trying to win games and trying to win lottery balls. You can't do both. So.
And that's why the Pistons got 60 wins.
Exactly, by pure effort. Like it was just pure effort and hustling and trying, because on paper the team is not that talented. So like this is the year where you got to break with your team in the regular season, and now they got to break with injuries and now taking care of business. You got a chance to make the finals. You got to get the finals right now because
can't be a cute story.
And maybe you play against the stack team OKC, and we'll see what
just got to roll the dice.
Yeah, roll the dice and play it out because you never know. Someone could tweak an ankle. Anything can happen in these finals games. We saw the undefeated Golden State Warrior dynasty that injuries can happen as part of the game. So it's because Oklahoma City is looking like that dominant. I'm gonna call it dynasty right now because Jesus Christ, this is one of the greatest teams I've ever seen before. Because I'm watching this team, I'm just like bench guys come in. Yeah. This team that was assembled is so deep. They play so just high IQ basketball. They just boom, boom, pass, open three. Like every single time they play basketball, it's like there's no stupid player on the court. There's no like low IQ guy. Everybody is passing to the open man. Everybody is like cutting. Everybody's playing defense. Everybody could shoot the basketball. Even the bigs could shoot the basketball. There's like no like guy you can like pick up. There's no guy.
You know what's funny?
Like, it used to be Lou Dort. But
I was just gonna say that used to be Lou Dort a little bit.
Exactly.
Like
you could argue there were guys like you could just leave them wide open, but this roster was built not to have a significant weakness where you can pick on them. You can't pick on anyone on defense.
Not on defense. I would argue, and we saw this a little bit last year. The guy with the lowest IQ, they might be benefiting because he's on the bench and has been on the bench. Jalen Williams had in that Pacers series, like he took some bad shots and just some poor decision making. Maybe it's first finals and all that jitters from last year, but maybe I'm not saying him being hurt is the reason, but hey, it has proved to be beneficial to see this AJ Mitchell guy come in on a cheaper contract like we were talking about before the podcast. Very interested. Sean made a great point. He might be the first guy that they look to move off when they start hitting contract issues. But yeah, I'm interested to actually see how that team changes if and when he comes back.
Because
that's what I'm curious to see.
AJ Mitchell is averaging 23 a game in the playoffs on 56% shooting.
Yeah, he's one of the best playoff scorers I've ever seen, man.
56% shooting. Like, this guy's been unbelievable. Like, my God.
Oh, people just love to troll, man.
One of the best playoff scorers I've seen, dude. 23 in his first plaffs? Come on, man. That's great, man. That's greatness right there.
Donovan Mitchell's gonna have to. He's got to get to the finals, man. I think that's until the jokes can stop flying.
Just get to a conference finals.
I'm talking about
but it's not going to feel the same.
He has one of the top 10 averages in points per game in the playoffs.
I'll just say, man, just listen to how much crap Shaq gives Charles Barkley. Yeah, you have all the numbers, and he's a Hall of Famer, guarantee, obviously, and he still holds up 4 rings. 4 rings. How many you got, Chuck?
You know what? I'm kind of getting. We'll end it, but I am kind of getting. This is what is basketball talk has really gotten annoying. Is
rings.
I know on that show they do the Shaq and Chuck are just gonna. It don't matter. Even if Shaq had 0 rings, they would just continue to go back and forth. But it really does. Because that's why Draymond made the comment he made to Chuck, and nobody laughed. Like, you got it. Like, some guys, it's like we get the ring stuff, but it's like Draymond and nobody is taking away his contribution, because I totally understand that he is the linchpin for the Golden State Warriors dynasty with Kevin Durant, with Steph, whoever. He's the linchpin because he was their fighter guy, and he was the guy who got everybody amped up, and he brought the energy. So I get it, and I've always gave him his kudos because even still, post KD and Steph, towards the end of his career, he still has been able to manage more contracts and still bring the energy, win, lose, or draw. So, like, that is a talent. Like, that's not just anybody can bring energy. Draymond has a unique talent in having that amount of energy for that many years. But it's just ruined conversation because it's like you got guys like Draymond just talking insane, and it's like, it's like, man, come on, can we just have basketball conversations without bringing up the rings? But that's just never going to happen because basketball is only what we do that with. We start the rings conversation. So
you play the game to win, Sean. You don't play the game to score a lot.
But in the NFL, we never go to rings. We just talk about talent.
With quarterbacks, you do. With
Tom Brady's the only guy we bring up rings is because he got the most. But like, I feel like if we talk about other quarterbacks, we never bring up their rings ever.
Well, that's why Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer, not his numbers.
Yeah, you go watch that Dynasty, whatever they had on Netflix, I think, and you kind of start going and doing your research on Troy Aikman. It's like, dang, he only threw for that amount, and he had Michael Irvin and all those guys.
Spending too much time at the White House. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see how these. I'm hoping that we at least get one series that give us 7 games, and it's more likely going to be in the East that happens with. So we'll see how it turns out, because this time next week we'll be talking about the conference final. So make sure you guys are locked in for the NBA NBA draft somewhat. We're going to be, like I said, I think the combine's going on right now, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out for that, and different guys that are shooting guards, small forwards, point guards, whatever, are going to be slotting up and down the draft board. So make sure to tune into Tyson Talks _ on Instagram, Tyson Talks _ on TikTok, Quantro Knows on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. 5-star review. Write a comment if you want to. And for me, Zoo, and P-Bush, we are out. If I can get the